If you feel like your marriage is on life support, it does not mean that it's actually over. Marriages can fall apart, but it's because of unmet needs, unresolved issues, and a breakdown in communication, not because of fate or because you're just doomed. There are systems that get broken or never got built in the first place. And if that's your marriage, you can fix this, but you need to act right now. Now, this process for fixing it is not about blaming yourself or blaming your spouse. It's about owning the situation and taking decisive action to repair your relationship. I was a licensed marriage and family therapist for many, many years, and I've been helping people with relationships for over 15 years now. And I know that there are 7 core ways of fixing a marriage, even if you're on the brink of divorce. These 7 strategies I'm going to share with you in this video today will show you exactly how to rebuild respect, rekindle connection, and save your marriage, even if it feels like you're hanging by a thread right now. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your support. Let's get right into these 7 steps and start fixing your marriage. From my years in marriage and family therapy, and now in coaching couples continuously through growth and improvement, even through affairs, the very first thing that needs to happen is bringing back respect for both sides. What does this mean? What does respect mean? Some people are confused on this. Let's make it very clear. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy marriage. Without it, every single conflict becomes a battle for dominance and trust erodes. Okay? Respect means treating each other as equals, as competent adults, not like adversaries or burdens. Respect means that you believe the other person is competent, worthy of your time and attention, and is working diligently on their side as best as they know how. This is respect. Okay, that's all it means. Are they competent? Are they working actually at their very best on the other side? Are they capable of higher thought? Do you respect them or do you look down on them? Respect is either there or it's not. And the absence of respect, I will say, is an absolute death of a relationship. Both sides have to feel respected. Now, how do you show respect? Okay, there's a couple signs that anybody in a relationship can do, whether you're man or woman. Here's how to show respect for your partner. First thing you must do is reassess your tone when you talk to your partner. Are you condescending? Are you dismissive? Are you sarcastic? If so, you're eroding the respect. Speak calmly, even if you're disagreeing. Hey, you know what? I hear what you're saying. I don't really agree with it, but I am hearing you. And if there's a challenge going on for you, then let's handle that together. Right? Like, here's another one. Or, oh yeah, I bet there's a big problem. What is it today? Condescending, dismissive, sarcastic, you may as well just get divorced tomorrow. If that's your tone coming out of your mouth, you are a major problem in this relationship. But you know what? This can come when we're hurt. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but it can come out when we are hurt, when we are frustrated. This is usually where this comes boiling out. We've got to get this under control, okay? Reassess that tone and speak to your partner as if you want to be married to them. Reassess that tone and speak to them as if you care about them, like an adult. Absolutely vital. You cannot move forward without this, okay? The second piece of really working on this respect is expressing gratitude. Part of respect is being grateful for the good parts of the other person and understanding that they are not your slave. They are not your servant. So when they do things for you, be grateful. Okay? Acknowledge their efforts, even in small things. Hey, I really appreciate you handling that. Thank you. That really helps. Now, why does this work? Why is respect so crucial? Respect triggers feelings of safety, right? Peace, trust. It signals that the other person sees you as an equal instead of downward, looking down the hierarchy at you down the steps. If you speak down to the other person and refuse to show any kind of gratitude whatsoever, that person becomes your servant and you are above them. You cannot have a marriage like this, not on either side, okay? You need to build respect. It reduces the stress. It makes your partner more open to correction and connection with you. Nobody can trust somebody, relax in their presence, or really problem solve with them if the person doesn't respect them. You can't do it, so your partner can't either. Work on respect together. And you don't have to just do this alone. You don't have to just start respecting them. You need to talk about this together and say, we both need to make sure that we are showing each other adequate respect as adults and as spouses. Build this together. The second thing you have to do is separate conflict from confrontation. Okay, what does this mean? When you enter into a conflict, right here, conflict is a question. Conflict says, do our goals align or are they opposite? And if they're opposite, do we have to fight about it or can we compromise? That's what a conflict is. It's a question. It's a series of questions you ask and talk about, okay? Conflict does not have to mean going straight to confrontation. Now we fight about it, okay? Confrontation implies that battle, a fight. Only one of us can win. But a conflict is simply maybe a misunderstanding. The key is to figure out first if your goals are actually opposed or if you're just miscommunicating. So how do you do this? How do you look at conflict and then start cooperating to resolve the issues together or get your needs met together or fulfill your goals together instead of going straight to from conflict into confrontation without even pausing? First thing you do, you got to ask a lot more questions, meaning clarify intentions. Asking, hey, before I respond, great phrase, before I respond, what did you mean by that? Or, wait a minute, it seems like you're upset and I'm not clear why. What did you hear me say? What did that sound like to you? This eliminates assumptions and reduces emotional flare-ups. Checking in with your partner like this, absolutely crucial. If you are mad, you stop asking questions and start throwing statements to control the narrative. But if you're calm and if you care about the other person, you're actually going to be curious about them and you're going to want to maintain a long-term relationship. So you're going to say, oh, wait a minute. What did you mean by that? Because that confused me and I could get angry at it. I don't want to, but that confused me. So could you help me understand what you meant there before I react in any way? I don't want to screw something up. Hey, I really see that you're upset after I said this thing. I'm not sure how it came across. What did that sound like to you? What happened there? I don't understand. Help me understand. Help me understand. Great phrase. Working together and asking questions, crucial. This is how you pause in the conflict and don't leap straight to confrontation. Ask more questions. When you understand what the other person's doing, the vast majority of the time, it avoids confrontation and leads to cooperation, which is where you start vasopressin bonding, that hormone that bonds you when you solve problems together. You can vasopressin bond through that conflict. Trust is only built inside of conflict, but it's destroyed usually in confrontation. So if your conflicts are always instantly turning into confrontations, you're never building trust. You're only eroding it. You need to build trust inside of that conflict. Okay. Frame it as a challenge to solve together. Instead of blaming, say, hey, it looks like we might be having a conflict, but we don't have to fight. How can we work on this together? What are your goals? What are mine? And what can we do to solve that together? Okay, our goals are a little bit different, but how can we compromise on the way we meet those needs? You don't compromise principles or goals, but the way we meet them. Maybe this time I win and I get 60 and you get 40, and we agree that next time you're going to get 60 and I get 40. In a loving relationship where there's actual trust, you can do that. Now, why does this work for fixing a marriage? Well, reframing that context and that conflict as collaboration keeps emotions in check. It helps you work as a team rather than as opponents. It builds that vasopressin bonding during the conflict, and it stops the bleed of I have to get away from you. When you launch straight through conflict into confrontation, you start building cortisol associations against each other, that stress hormone, and your brain says, anytime I need something, I got to get you out of my way. You're my enemy. And this is why a lot of couples come into my coaching practice and their brains think they're enemies, even as their hearts love each other. And that's what's tearing their marriage apart. If your brain thinks you are enemies, you are probably bypassing conflict and going straight into confrontation. I've seen it a million times with couples I've worked with. The third thing you've got to do to start rebuilding your marriage is doing the good stuff you've stopped doing. Meaning you have to build the oxytocin bond. This is the cartilage in your marriage. A lot of couples come into my coaching practice and they're grinding bone on bone and they're fighting over every little thing because the cartilage is not there. They're feeling every little bump. The cartilage, The oxytocin, the bonding hormone that creates emotional closeness. Without it, every disagreement feels like bone grinding on bone. Love and warmth and kindness, when you have a good evening together and a lot of good dates, maybe some good bedroom intimacy, holding hands, you are more likely to walk in and give the other person some of the benefit of the doubt, take a breath as conflict begins, and ask a question, because your brain is more likely to prioritize peace and maintaining a relationship instead of going straight to war and destroying it. When you like each other, your brain tends to try to keep it that way. So the oxytocin is crucial. Okay? You need to build the oxytocin regularly and rebuild it and refresh it to soften the relationship and create that upward spiral of connection. Why do women say, oh, I want more emotional intimacy? Why do women say, we haven't been on a date in a while? Why do women say, I'm feeling kind of lonely. I want to spend more time together? Because they're seeking to rebuild the oxytocin connection. Absolutely crucial for both of you and for the well-being of the marriage. A lot of couples come in, they say, I don't feel like I should have to do this with them. I'm not in the mood for it. I'm not in the mood to go on a date. I'm not in the mood to hold hands. I'm not in the mood to talk. You're going to have to start building some kindness and warmth into your marriage, or it will never get better because you have no purpose in getting better. Your brain will say, what the hell is the point? Build some goodness in. Okay. Now, here's a couple things you can start doing to build the goodness in. Remember that oxytocin is released in the absence of stress. So to do this, you've got to spend some more peaceful time together. Start with date nights and weekly check-ins to reconnect. Hey, once a week, let's connect for 10, 15 minutes and say, how are you feeling in our relationship? And how can we make you feel just a little bit better? What can I do for you in the next week? Going on date nights, go bowling, go sit and eat and talk. Don't go sit and watch a movie and just don't speak. Don't do something where you don't interact. Go sit, have a conversation. Go for a drive, hold hands and talk. Go for a walk, hold hands and talk. Sit and watch a movie, but hold hands and snuggle under the blanket. My wife and I watch an old movie we've seen 50 times so that we don't even have to listen. And then we can actually talk during the film, Old movies, old 1980s action flicks are fantastic for this. So I recommend you spend a little bit of time remembering that you love each other. Focus on calm, low-stress conversations. Prioritize physical touch, holding hands, hugs, greeting each other warmly every day, greeting each other at the end of the day. When was the last time you went up, smiled, said, welcome home, or I'm glad to see you, and gave them a big hug at the end of the day? What if you did that every day? What if you were actually glad to see each other every day? How amazing would that be? Start that, what's called a reunification ritual, at the end of each day. Right now, reunification rituals are huge for couples. A separation ritual, also pretty big for couples. Whoever's leaving at whatever time, get up, go connect, have that separation. Reconnect when you come home, reunification ritual. Even that is at least twice a day of warmth and connection. Non-sexual physical touch rebuilds intimacy and trust in a huge way. You don't have to be having wild, crazy sex. A lot of couples aren't ready for that yet as they start initializing the repair sequence, and that's okay. You need to build the intimacy. Oxytocin flows when we have warmth, connection, and low stress. It works because regular oxytocin bonding makes hard conversations easier, and it builds an emotional cushion for when things get tough. And you're just going to be happy to be together. If there is no joy in your marriage whatsoever, what is going to make you fight to save it? The fourth thing that I have couples do very quickly when they come into my coaching practice and we work on this together in fixing marriages is defining and aligning goals as a couple. A lot of couples are just together until one of them dies. We're going to give each other good feelings so one of us dies, and that's it. Well, guess what? The good feelings run out eventually. Without shared goals, you're just two people coexisting. You need a clear vision for your relationship, something that's bigger than yourselves, that keeps you focused on working together instead of fantasizing about leaving or how great it would be if that other partner was involved. You had somebody else in your life, going back to your ex, a new person you haven't met yet. Okay, you need a shared vision. Here's how you can do this. A couple simple questions. What are we trying to achieve together as a couple? What do we both want for our future? Maybe it's a family. Maybe it's building something together. Maybe it's supporting a cause. Maybe it's just surviving this crazy world together. Maybe it's continuous self-improvement, but together mutually as a couple for accountability and shared growth. What is it? I teach sometimes the descendants model even. Doesn't have to be kids, could be adopted kids, students, mentees, people that you mentor, people that you train, training the next generation, building something incredible. What legacy are you co-creating together? What are you achieving better together as a couple than you could on your own? I recommend you do this. Sit down and create a plan. Write down your goals together as a couple and revisit them regularly during weekly check-ins. Build progress toward them. Sometimes I have my couples whiteboard a 20-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 1-year plan, a 6-month plan, a 30-day plan, and then a 1-week plan, and then a 1-day plan. And then you plan your life in reverse and build your life forward. And you grow it together. So you're always tracking your success. Again, more vasopressin bonding. Here's why this works. Defining your goals clearly like this gives your marriage purpose. It helps you both stay invested and motivated to make it work. And when a question arises about what should we do? Should we move to Costa Rica? Should we move to Antarctica? Should we move to Mars on the first colony ships? Well, what are our actual goals? Would that support our goals? Should we split up and get divorced? Should we stay together? Should we? Instead of, well, how does that make us feel and whose feelings are more important? What are our goals? Does this support our goals or oppose our goals? Let's plan that way. And now it's not an argument about whose feelings are more important. It's a discussion about how best to meet your shared goals. This unifies a couple big time. The fifth thing you've got to do to repair your marriage right now is to solve problems. Don't let them linger. What does this mean in particular? Because a lot of couples come into my coaching practice. They've had problems that have lingered and lingered and lingered. They haven't known how to fix them, and they don't even know if they can fix them. Okay? Yes, you can. Avoiding problems through the years or arguing and then disconnecting doesn't make those issues disappear. It makes them fester. If you can't solve a problem on your own, seek professional help to mediate. I had a couple come in the other day. It was our first session together, and they said, Adam, we have been arguing about this thing for the last year, and it's tearing our family apart. And I said, whoa, okay, it's time to put this to bed. And they said, I don't think you can do that, Adam, in 1 hour. That's going to be way too much. It's been a year, and it's torn us apart. And I said, well, let's talk about it. We went through it and we got it resolved in 20 minutes. Okay. But the problem was that both sides felt like if they gave in, they were going to get steamrolled by the other side. They couldn't resolve an issue because there was zero trust. That was the problem. They needed a third party in this case that they could both trust to give them the harsh truth and build a fair compromise. They couldn't do that on their own. That's why they were stuck. Now, some couples can build a fair compromise on their own. And if you can, then do it. Here's a couple ways you can do that. Schedule weekly problem-solving sessions. Treat your marriage as if it's a business. You wouldn't let issues in a company just go unaddressed for years, and you shouldn't in your relationship either. You need to be resolving issues. Check in once a week. Okay, hey, it's our Saturday check-in. Number 1, anything pending on your side that's difficult, anything that you're struggling with, any challenges. How is your department doing? Right? Have that conversation. What can we do to resolve this? Have a solution-focused mindset. Not a, well, we're going to dig in and change nothing. No, that your business goes bankrupt. Hey, your department, it makes me feel really bad that you have problems. No, your business will go bankrupt. So will your marriage. Have this conversation together. Hey, what is the biggest challenge on your side right now, preventing you from really relaxing into this relationship? And how can we as a team resolve that challenge? Headed toward our goals. This is why you've got to unify around those goals, by the way. So it's not just feelings driving you, but there's a purpose. How can we resolve that issue to improve things for that goal? See the difference? That's the important piece. This is what so many couples are missing. Now, if this is tough, if you're stuck, private coaching, getting some professional assistance. Do that, whether it's with myself, my certified coaches, a professional mediator, somebody, okay? You need the tools and the guidance and maybe a third party you can both trust to break through. But you've got to get this done, okay? You must resolve your issues permanently. Addressing those problems head on, getting through them, and moving towards your goals together as a team eliminates resentment, and it creates space for growth and healing and trust. And again, vasopressin bonding. So many people ask me, Adam, how can I initiate vasopressin bonding? How can I find circumstances? People, life is messy and painful. There are a lot of problems staring you in the face. There are issues inside your relationship right now that you need to resolve. If you've watched every vasopressin video and wish that I gave you more instructions on what to do, you don't need to go find an escape room or rebuild a car. You need to address the problems each one of you has, and you will vasopressin bond like you can't even imagine. Fixing a marriage is one of the biggest vasopressin bonding experiences there is. Now, number 6, as you've gone through these things, okay, as you've repaired the oxytocin bonding, as you have made sure that you actually like each other, you've built shared goals, you're building and cultivating mutual respect, you're not leaping from conflict straight into confrontation, but you're pausing and asking more questions as you're permanently resolving issues, you're going to feel lighter and calmer, and you're going to be more open to the idea of bonding with this person that you now have started to trust. This is time to rekindle intimacy with scheduled time together, okay? A lot of couples come into my practice. Adam, we haven't had sex in 3 months or 6 months or a year. We haven't had sex in a year. Oh, okay. Well, how are you doing with the relationship pieces? We go through a couple sessions, we rebuild things are calm, they haven't had sex yet. You know, it's been a while, Adam. I'm kind of hurting. And the wife is like, well, I'm open to it now. I'm open to it. But, I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. And I say, okay, if you're both open to it, here's what we're going to do, is we're going to schedule intimacy. It doesn't just mean scheduling the act, but scheduling an intimate experience together. And usually the wife says, well, I want it to be more spontaneous. It needs to be spontaneous. And I say, cool. How's that working so far? It's been a year. Would you like it to be another year? We need to schedule these things. You guys are way out of practice. Your oxytocin bonding is really low, and your brain is more likely to not connect with the other person because it's too awkward now. It's too weird. You're confused. You're afraid of getting rejected. It's not on your schedule. It's really hard to start doing something that big when you're actively in the habit of suppressing that. Okay? Intimacy doesn't just happen, you guys. It's built. Now, at the beginning of a new relationship, the excitement is pushing you into it. But as you're barely beginning to rebuild a marriage, usually you have years of reservations holding you back, and your brain doesn't remember or even want to go have that because you're afraid of getting hurt, even as things get better. Waiting then for spontaneous, magical moments is why so many couples go months without connecting. Scheduling the time together, yes, even scheduling intimacy, can rebuild the foundation of your relationship. And again, this is not like we will schedule 7 minutes. You will have your pants off when I arrive in the room. We will not make eye contact. No, that's not what this is, okay? Here's how you schedule intimacy. You plan twice weekly intimacy to get you back on track. 45 minutes each. 45 minutes, maybe an hour, if you really want to have a good time, and you should, but 45 minutes to an hour, okay? You connect emotionally before physical intimacy. As an example, you might start sharing some light snacks, laughing together, meaningful conversation, sharing about your day, and actually giving details. Guys, I need to tell you, sharing the details of your day, even if it's the same crap over and over and it means nothing to you, that is crucial for her because it tells her she is worthy of your time. You want to share your days and experiences with her, and you are light and at ease in her presence. When you're like, my day was fine, there is nothing to report, that does nothing for her. It actually tells her that she's unworthy of your time and that you're uninterested in connecting with her. That's going to shut down intimacy. Spend 10, 15, even 20 minutes of this time together. Have a small snack, serotonin boost. Have a small conversation, oxytocin and serotonin boost. And meaningful touch, hugs, laughter, touch each other during this time, okay? Gradually transition to more physical connection, right? Touch each other on the shoulder, rub each other on the, scratch each other's scalp or hair, right? Rub their arm, pull them closer, put your arm around them, snuggle a little bit, hold hands, act like you like each other. Mice can do this. Monkeys can do this. Coyotes can do this. You are human beings, but your brains are confusing you, okay? And your brains don't remember how to do this. Your brain is a little scared and awkward of thinking of doing this. You know who doesn't feel awkward? Mice, monkeys, coyotes. They sort of just do it, right? Nature takes its course. We need to get you there. We need to build you into that, which is why we have to schedule it. Talk about things you both enjoy. If discussing intimacy feels kind of awkward, acknowledge that and push through and say, hey, you know what? This feels a little different for me, but it's cool. I want to have this conversation with you so we both enjoy it. Here's why this works, you guys. A lot of couples, when they try to rebuild their marriage, they try to just like leap into quickies. And honestly, after the first 5 to 7 months, the novelty dopamine's gone. It's hard for men to physically perform without oxytocin bonding. It's incredibly hard for women to perform without oxytocin bonding. When you both have oxytocin bonding through conversation, physical connection, relaxation, trust, non-sexual physical touch, and then a little bit more sexual touch, more foreplay, and then moving into the experience, the oxytocin boosts the physical arousal and the emotional arousal. Now you're both going to really enjoy it. And when you do the act, serotonin, oxytocin, a ton of dopamine, good dopamine to reward you, but all kinds of good brain chemicals and hormones flood through you. It's an incredible experience. And then your brain says, wow, that was a lot of fun. And then it says, we should remember and do that more often. And as you schedule it a couple times a week and do this, your brain's like, yeah, that's a lot of fun. We should do that more. And then your brain does it more. And then the spontaneous feelings and experiences begin to build. This is where you start enjoying each other. Scheduling the intimacy rebuilds the connection, makes both partners feel desired and valued, and it breaks the cycle of emotional and physical distance. So make sure you're doing that. And number 7, we've talked about a little bit, but it's a constant, pervasive thing that happens through the entire relationship, through every process, and will carry you forward at every point. Number 7, good couples who rebuild their marriage, one of the biggest changes is prioritizing curiosity and communication. Here's what this means. Most couples fail to communicate effectively, completely, because they don't express curiosity about each other, or they don't clarify what they're trying to say. Men, in particular, usually need to ask a lot more questions, and women typically need to be a lot clearer, more measurable, exact, precise language about their needs. Here's how to do this for both sides, okay? For men, asking more open-ended questions to show more interest. Hey, what's been the best part of your day today? What's something that you've been thinking about lately? I love to ask my wife this question. Hey, how was your day? Oh, it was blank. Really? What made it blank for you? What was the blankiest part of your day? Asking those follow-up questions. You ask a question, then an additional question about their answer. Absolutely crucial. If you ask one question and she answers and you go, ugh, what's for dinner? It doesn't work because it means I asked you a basic, polite question. I don't really care about your answer. Now I'm on to something else. Hey, how was your day? Oh, it was blank. Oh, what made it blank for you? Oh, well, this and this and this. Oh, that seems a little unusual. Has that been happening lately? Why did that happen? What made that happen today? How was that for you? Was that disappointing? Was it happy? Were you glad? What happened today? Oh, okay. What can we do this evening to make things better for you? Unblank the day, right? Or more blank the day. Sounds like a great day. How can we make it even better? Or, hey, what can we do to make tomorrow good too? Is that something you want to repeat? Is that something you want to start using in our days and doing that more often, right? Can we blank each day? What can we do? Follow-up questions. Open-ended questions, curiosity. Understand. Hey, what did you mean by that? Why is that important to you? I love asking my wife that question. She's doing something. She buys something from Amazon, like women typically do. It is what it is. But she buys something from Amazon. She opens it up. I go, oh, what made you pick that up? What made you curious about that? Oh, well, and she'll tell me and I listen. Oh, interesting. Okay. What makes that important to you? What makes that idea or that concept important? I love to learn about my wife, and our 16-year wedding anniversary is coming up very quickly. And I still love to learn more about my wife because she's changing. She's growing. She's a mother of 5 now. When I met her, she was not a mother of 5. She has changed as a person, and I want to keep learning about that person. Partly so that I make sure we don't grow apart, partly because I love my wife and I want to know more about her, and just frankly because she's an interesting person. I married her because she's intelligent and thoughtful and has really good values, and I love learning more about her as she grows. She's got cool ideas that keep popping up, so I love learning more. This is a crucial part of a good marriage. Now, for women, the problem is that they often use emotional language. This is not to say women are overly emotional. You've probably heard that before. That's not the point here. The point is emotional language. Things like, I need to feel loved. I really need to feel like you care about me. While these phrases may mean something to you, they might mean something different to the other person. If you tell your cat, I really need to feel like you care about me, you're going to get a delivery of a bunch of dead mice stuffed into your bed pillow. Do you want dead mice in your bed pillow? Probably not. You'd probably think that he hates you. But your cat would say, aha, I made her feel like I love her. Your husband is going to be the same. I need to feel loved. I need to feel safe. I need to feel cared for. Excellent. He will buy you a hamburger. He will build you a motorcycle. He will purchase a machete for you. You will have a new machete for your anniversary gift. Would you like a machete for your birthday gift? Ooh, and maybe some duct tape. That's a good practical gift. Ooh, you know what would be a practical gift? You know how you've been complaining about your bathroom scale being broken? A new bathroom scale. That's a great practical gift for your birthday. How would you love to receive that? If you want him to feel like he cares about you and you want him to care about you more and have that feeling, a new bathroom scale and duct tape and a machete is coming for you for your birthday. You also need to understand that men don't really usually seek safety. Men have no idea what women mean when they say, I need to feel safe. Look, I got a master's degree. I got like 15 years in this field. It has taken me a long time to learn to understand what women mean when they say, I need to feel safe. Okay? Most men don't have my experience. So, measurability. Okay? Hey, instead of, I want more time, I need to feel close to you. Well, we're like 6 inches apart, right? Hey, I need to feel close to you. Here's what would help. I need us to spend 15 minutes each night, 15 minutes every single evening, just talking about our day, talking about things that were important to us, sharing details, and then asking each other questions. This will help me feel like you care about me. 15 minutes a night, sharing details so that I feel like you care. And if we can do this, this will build a stronger relationship, and I'll want to spend more time with you in the bedroom. Does that work for you? This is the what, why, how often method. What is 1 or 2 or 3 things that will help you feel the feeling you want? Why is it important to you? And why is it important for the relationship? What will it achieve for the relationship? And why does it matter to you? And how often or how much, right? Every day for 15 minutes. What, why, how often? Measurability. Men need measurability so they can hit those targets, especially because his needs and goals and desires are probably very different from yours. And in fact, I'll be honest with you, they're not that different because that benefits him too. It's not like he's going to hate that 15 minutes. It's not like it's taking from him. It will benefit him, but he probably doesn't have that experience or understand what that means to you. It's probably not something he's ever thought about before. It means something to you. You can build it through measurability. Okay? Here's why curiosity is so crucial. It fosters so much deeper connection. Clarity eliminates confusion and resentment. When you marry curiosity and clarity together, communication is just phenomenal. This is really what builds a great marriage. When I get couples coming into my coaching practice, if they buy like the 8-session package for fixing a marriage, usually the first 5 sessions are to actually repair all the miserable parts of the marriage. And we get them to pretty stable 0, where things are okay. And there's no more bleed and we're not going to divorce. And we're okay. And then they look at me and they go, well, we're okay. We're not getting divorced. We've had sex once a week. Like, I think we're good. What are we even going to work on for the last 3 sessions? And I say, what do you mean? Like, why would we stop here? Next 3 sessions, build an incredible relationship together. Curiosity, clarity, more intimacy, exploring each other, learning what's possible as a couple that you haven't had access to solo as an individual. Sharing that joy and building a strong, bulletproof, flourishing, amazing, fulfilling marriage for both of you. That's what we do in the last 3 sessions. So just so that you know, don't stop at 0, people. Please don't ever stop at 0, whatever method you're using to fix your relationship. Now, you've heard me talk about coaching several times through this video. If your marriage is at a breaking point, I want you to know that private coaching can help you cut through the noise and get straight to the solutions. This coaching is not therapy. It is targeted, actionable guidance to save your relationship. You're going to get immediate clarity to identify the root causes of your issues and learn how to address them effectively. That is the first session. Full clarity on why the problems exist and a detailed plan step by step for exactly how to fix them. Day 1. Then we have proven strategies to master communication, to master conflict resolution, and to build intimacy through techniques and strategies that are proven and based on science and all my years in the field. And then you get accountability as a couple to stay on track with personalized coaching that keeps you focused on your results. This is not therapy. This is directive, focused coaching. So do not wait until it is too late. Private coaching can help you save your marriage before it falls apart. Click the link below to book your session now. Your relationship is worth it. With the 7 steps in this video and the right support, you can take your marriage from the brink of divorce to a place of trust, intimacy, and lasting love. Now the question is, are you ready to fight for your love? I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Thank you for trusting me with your relationship. If you liked this video and it was helpful, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And come to my next live stream event. I cordially invite you. I've got them scheduled out here on this channel so that you can see where they're at and join me inside those videos. There's a members only Q&A at the very end. If you want to pop in and ask questions, I'm happy to give you some micro coaching in there as well. Or you can see how I talk to people about their relationships and the advice I give. I'd love to see you there.